Hey everybody, Randy here. You had me at inclusion, time to rhythm with the tism. I'm 44, and to be honest, I didn't grow up knowing much about autism. It wasn't a topic discussed in schools or workplaces. However, I'm on a journey of learning, and the more I discover, the more I realize how crucial it is to understand autism, not just as a diagnosis, but as a remarkable way of experiencing the world. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, influences how individuals communicate, interact socially, and process sensory information. It's called a spectrum because it appears differently in every person. Some are highly verbal, while others use unique forms of communication. Some thrive on routine, while others flourish in spontaneity. Early detection can truly change lives. When autism is identified early, especially in children, it opens doors to personalized support, therapies, and educational strategies that allow them to thrive. It's not about fixing anyone, it's about embracing their needs and strengths. Support networks are vital. Families, educators, healthcare providers, and community organizations all play essential roles. Resources like speech therapy, occupational therapy, social skills groups, and inclusive classrooms can build confidence and create lasting connections. For me, dedicating time to research and share these resources on this blog is part of my commitment to learning and advocacy. By sharing what I find, I hope to empower others to embark on their journeys while holding myself accountable to my own. Together, we can create a world of understanding and support. So let's get into what autism actually is. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a neurodevelopmental condition. This term refers to a condition that affects the growth and development of the brain, particularly in areas like communication, social interaction, and sensory processing. But here's the key: it's a spectrum. This means that autism is as unique as the individuals who experience it. Some may be very verbal and social, while others may communicate in non traditional ways or prefer quiet, structured environments. Some may experience sensory sensitivities, while others might seek out sensory input. Understanding this individuality is key to respecting and supporting those with autism. Autism isn't a disease, and it's not something to be cured. It's a different way of experiencing and interacting with the world. When we understand this, we can move away from judgment and towards empathy and understanding, fostering a more inclusive society. If you want to explore more about the symptoms and challenges associated with autism, I've included a link on another slide to the CDC's autism page. This page is a wealth of information, and it empowers you to learn more and support those with autism. The resource breaks down early signs, developmental milestones, and ways autism might show up across different ages. It's a great starting point for anyone who wants to learn more or support someone in their life who may be autistic. So let's talk about how autism is actually diagnosed. This part surprised me when I started learning because it's not a quick test or a simple moment. It's a process. Usually, diagnosis involves a team of specialists like developmental pediatricians, psychologists, or neurologists who look at a person's behavior, communication, and developmental history. They may use tools like ADOS, which stands for Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule. It's basically a structured way to observe how someone interacts and communicates. But here's something important: a lot of people don't get diagnosed as kids. Adults, especially women, people of color, and folks from underserved communities, are often overlooked or misdiagnosed. That's because autism can show up differently depending on the person, and many people learn to mask their traits to fit in. So, diagnosis isn't just about checking boxes, it's about understanding someone's lived experience. And the earlier we can recognize and support autistic individuals, the better we can meet their needs and celebrate their strengths. Let's dive into the amazing spectrum of autism and the incredible individuals it encompasses. Autism touches the lives of people across every race, gender, background, and age, showcasing a vibrant mix of experiences and perspectives. According to the CDC, about 1 in 36 children in the US is diagnosed with autism, but this figure is just the tip of the iceberg. Many adults live with autism, often unaware of their neurodivergent identity due to a historical lack of understanding and diagnosis, especially among those who don't exhibit the typical traits. It's essential to recognize that women, people of color, and individuals from marginalized communities are often misunderstood or misdiagnosed. Many have learned to mask their true identities to blend into social and professional environments, a strategy that can be draining and detrimental in the long run. When we ask, who has autism? It's crucial to broaden our perspective beyond just diagnosis. Autistic individuals thrive in every community, profession, and age group. By acknowledging and celebrating this rich tapestry of lives, we empower ourselves to create inclusive spaces in schools, healthcare, and throughout our everyday lives. Together, let's champion diversity, understanding, and inclusion for everyone. Let's talk about autism and who it affects. April is Autism Awareness Month, and World Autism Awareness Day falls on April 2nd. But honestly, awareness shouldn't be limited to just one month. It's something we need to carry into our everyday lives. This month is more about just wearing blue or posting a graphic. It's a chance to really listen to autistic voices, challenge outdated ideas, and rethink how we show up in our communities. It's about shifting from awareness to acceptance and from acceptance to action. For me, this journey started with curiosity. I didn't know much about autism at 44, but now I see how much it matters, not just as a diagnosis, but as a lens for understanding difference, dignity, and inclusion. Autism Awareness Month reminds us that inclusion isn't a favor, it's a responsibility. When we commit to learning, advocating, and amplifying neurodiverse perspectives, we're building spaces that work better for everyone. Let's take a moment to talk about some of the biggest misconceptions around autism because they're everywhere and really shape how people are treated. One common myth is that all autistic people are either nonverbal or savants. That's just not true. Autism is a spectrum. Remember, some folks are highly verbal and expressive, others may communicate in different ways. Some may have strong memory or pattern recognition, but that doesn't mean they're all geniuses in the way movies sometimes suggest. Another misconception is that autism only affects children. Nope, autistic adults exist, and many are just now learning about their diagnosis, especially women, people of color, and like we said, people who've been underserved. Here's a big one: the idea that autistic people don't feel empathy. That's false. Many autistic people feel deeply, but they might express emotions differently or need time to process. Just because someone doesn't respond the way you expect doesn't mean they don't care. So, part of autism awareness is unlearning these myths. When we do that, we make space for real understanding and for autistic people to be seen as they are, not as stereotypes. So let's talk about inclusion and why it's not just a nice idea, but a real necessity. When we talk about autism inclusion, we're talking about creating environments where autistic people can thrive, not just survive. That means recognizing different communication styles, sensory needs, and social preferences, and making space for them. Inclusion isn't about fixing autistic people to fit into rigid systems, it's about adjusting those systems so they work for more people. That could mean offering quiet spaces, using clear language, or being flexible with deadlines and expectations. And here's the big thing: when we design for neurodiversity, we often end up helping everyone. More clarity, more empathy, more flexibility. These are good for all of us. Inclusion also means valuing autistic voices, not just in advocacy, but in leadership, education, and decision making. It's about shifting from tokenism to true participation. So when we say inclusion matters, we're really saying dignity matters, equity matters, and building communities that honor difference isn't just possible, it's powerful. Information in this presentation was gained from these resources and web pages. Thank you for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.